Today I'm going to go over bump keys and how to open locks with the bump key. You'll need three different items. You'll need a key, bump key, like this. It's a key cut to Pacific lock to the lowest depth. And you'll also need a hammer. And third thing you'll need is a rubber donut, which is actually a castration ring that you can buy at a local farm supply. Here we have a quick set cylinder. It's a 5-pinner. And this is the quick set key. This is a professionally cut key. I've made a lot of ones by hand, which I'll be using in this video as well. And the professional ones work a whole lot better. I don't have a key cutter, so I have to file them by hand. And I don't do such a great job, but on the most part they work. So here's the rubber donut, or the castration ring. And we insert it all the way back to the bow there. And it's used to propel the key back, so there's one pin stack sticking out of the key. So when you strike the hammer, it pushes the keys in, and like a pick gun, it forces the pins up to the shear line. You rotate the key in a clockwise direction while hitting the key repeatedly with the hammer, sort of machine gun style, with a slight pressure counterclockwise, so that the pins rise up to the shear line, and the lock opens like this. And this is the quick set version. And here we have another cylinder. This is a slag. You can tell by the retaining pin back there. And that's a slag key that's cut to the right depth, the lowest depth of the pins. We'll get that all set up here in the vise and get the rubber donut pressed up against the back of the key, and let's get it straightened up there. Hit it with a hammer and turn it again very lightly in a clockwise position, striking it so that the grooves in the key cause the pins to go up. This one I turned counterclockwise because these cylinders will open up either clockwise or counterclockwise, and sometimes it's easier, even when you're picking them, to pick them in a counterclockwise direction. But it doesn't work in padlocks. Here we have our Brinks. It's a 60 millimeter padlock. Now there's a handmade one for the Brinks. Now these keys don't work on all locks, especially those that have security pins in them. They do work sometimes. It just depends upon the lock again. But you can't open up all locks with this method. Here we go, striking it, turning it clockwise slightly. Sometimes it takes quite a while to get it to open. You just have to be persistent. There we go, that opened not too bad. And our next lock, let's see, which one do we have here? Oh, it's a Mako 427. Now this may have security pins in it. I don't know for sure if it does, but we'll give it a try. And there's another handmade key for the Mako. I make them out of the second key I usually get with these locks. I'll take that and I'll follow that down to the lower depth for that lock, and use that as a bump key. And it helps if you put the lock in the right direction in the vise. It's probably one of the major things we do here. So we got it in there. And we'll put slight tension again in the clockwise direction and start hammering. And you gotta be careful that you don't hammer your thumb, which I do a lot. Now sometimes the donut rides all the way back on the bow there, and you have to pull it off because it won't drive the pins up. It does have a spring it back. And this method is not working right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the donut off, and I'm going to do it the manual method where you stick the key in, you pull it out one pin stack, and then you strike it once, turning it counterclockwise, or clockwise rather, and try and open the lock that way. And that works most of the time, but not all the time, and especially if you have security pins in it, it doesn't seem to work as well. So I'm going to put the donut back on and try it again, and we'll see how that works. This takes persistence. And there we go, it worked that time. And now I'm going to get the hardest lock at all. I'm saving the hardest till last because it may take a long time to open it. So here we have a master number 1 4-cylinder padlock. Get that tied up in there. And I made a bump key out of a existing master lock key. And we'll give this a shot. Can't guarantee I can open it, but I'll give it a try. How about that? It opened. I don't believe it. Well, we'll try one more master lock and see if my luck will hold out. In one keyway. And I'm using the same key I used for the 4-pin number 1. Get this in the vise. Get the donut over the key. Insert the key. And we're ready to bounce. Okay. Like I said, you have to be careful because you can easily smash your fingers and draw blood. It slipped off, okay, to the bow again, so we had to pull it down from the bow. We'll try it again. I'll take the donut off and we'll do it manually. Take it out one pin stack, give it a smack. Try it again. And it doesn't seem to be working either. Keep on trying. Nope. Well, we'll put the donut back on like you did with the Mako and see how that does. See if my luck is still working. After a while, your hand gets tired. So what can you do? You can't open them all. Doesn't work all the time. So thanks for watching, and I hope maybe you've learned something.